Hey, what's up guys, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Noir, and Spider-Ham. And I'll just do a question of the day right away. How many of you care about Spider-Ham? Or was that just kind of like a fun meme thing when it first came out and they're kind of leaning into it too much? Let me know what you guys think. I am not one for the extended Spider-Man universe in the first place. I think it's gone a little bit crazy, but Spider-Man Noir is a very cool design, and I thought, well, I might as well review it. It was on sale at Big Bad Toy Store when I got it. I don't know if it still is. And I wanted to talk about another thing. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we get into the figure, let's take a look at my package. I actually like the package a lot, except for the fact that you don't see much. It's not, that's not great. But this part's nice, I like it. It's fun looking, but it's strange that they just kind of, it feels like an afterthought. But still, not bad packaging, some nice photos on the back, especially for Bandai. They tend to not do a great job with that, and they still kind of haven't. It's a lot of real estate for nothing important. But yeah, better than average probably. So it's displayable enough if you care about packaging. I do not. And like I said, he was on sale at Big Bad Toy Store. If he still is, I don't know, but I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check that out. And yes, he does come with a coat. I'm saving it for later. He stands, including his hat, about 18.5 centimeters, just shy of that. It's going to be about 7.25 inches. We'll pop that off just because. So he hits 7 inches and without the hat, and that's going to be, yeah, just shy of 18 centimeters. So here's the thing I wanted to talk about before we get into anything else, because it's not directly related to this review, but kind of. When they announced the new Scarlet Spider that's part of the Spider-Verse line that is just absolutely gorgeous, maybe not perfect, but looks freaking cool, I heard a lot of people complaining about the size. He's going to be out of scale because the Spider-Verse figures are out of scale. Well, the interesting thing is the Spider-Verse figures are out of scale with each other also. It bounces all over the place. This guy's 6.9 officially. He actually comes in at basically 7 inches. But the Scarlet Spider is marked at 6.3 in terms of the solicitation information. So there's a very good chance that he is not out of scale with the 1/12 scale. I use air quotes because it's not exact. But I think there's a good chance Scarlet Spider is not big like this guy, which is a super weird thing that this guy is. I think Peter B. Parker was big also. But Scarlet Spider should be normal size. So that's a good thing. But let's go ahead and talk about this guy. I have to say, I think it looks pretty good. I like the styling. I like the way they've put it together. I think the silhouette is nice. The proportioning is nice. When you put his jacket on, it's even better if you're okay with the soft goods. But I have to review him without the jacket first, just because I can show you the articulation and everything. But I can pop it on for you real quick, just so that you can see what he looks like. Since we're technically doing the aesthetic portion, I guess that makes the most sense. It's a surprisingly good jacket for Bandai. They don't always do a great job with their soft goods. I don't think it's perfect. You've got the inner collar, which you could either poof up or not. It's not great. Let me put it that way. But once you get imposed, it's not bad. The jacket itself is all right. You could put it down. You can pop it up. It's, like I said, it's not great, but for Bandai, it's not bad, which is probably not... I probably should just say it's not good. It could be a whole lot worse. Once you pose him, it looks better. It definitely can look janky, though. So you could pop this if you want. I would leave the lapels down, though it looks better. It's alright. The buttons are there. It is wired. He has this part here. But it does... Oop, that came out. It does feel a little bit undercooked. Like I said, Bandai has struggled with soft goods many times in the past. I still think they're not quite where they need to be. But once you get imposed, it's okay. But he doesn't look great. Just like standing in a hero pose, the jacket doesn't flow well. For many of the reasons that soft goods are not a good choice for action figures. Because the scaling just is impossible. Now, the one thing that is nice about this jacket, if I could get it off of his hand, is that it's made out of spandex. At least some. It's probably not pure spandex. It feels like cotton and spandex. Could be polyester, it's probably polyester, but it's nice, it's stretchy, that helps for posing, that helps for getting it on the figure, and it helps for posing. The wires can actually just bend without the fabric doing weird things like the Batman capes from McFarlane Toys. So I like that. That's why I said it's kind of a good jacket, but also it could look a little bit nicer is all. So there's that. But as far as the sculpt goes, I like it. It's all gray plastic, but it's supposed to be, and other than the eyes, and I think it looks nice. There is a little bit of a different finish for the belt buckle. And like I said, the eyes look nice. They kind of have a a shininess to them. It's mostly just gloss, but still, it works. So is he the most impressive figure ever? No, but it's definitely good enough. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. You can knock points off or add points for the jacket depending on how you feel about the soft goods and how much you're willing to pose it, or if you want to put it in a hero pose. Now, as far as accessories go, not counting the jacket or the hat because they're kind of necessary, you get a decent spread of hands for this guy, so that's really nice, and you get some web lines, which are probably enough. And then you get the accessory, which I'm counting as an accessory, not an actual figure, of Spider Ham. It is basically not articulated at all. You have a ball peg for the neck, you have an interchangeable set of legs, and an interchangeable head, and a bunch of interchangeable arms. It's fine. It's a glorified accessory. It doesn't even look particularly good because it's just, they didn't even do the web lines. So, unless they're not supposed to have done that, I don't know. But I think they should have. The hammer looks okay, but the rest looks cheap as hell, and he actually can't, oh, you can also pose his tail. Can you pose his tail? I thought you could. Yeah, you can. And then the other thing is, though, he can't stand on his own, even though it looks like he should be able to. Okay, so let me clarify. He can balance, but it's a real pain in the butt, and it's not. It should be a lot easier, but it's so not easy that they gave you 2 different display stands just to keep him from falling over. It's like you guys could have definitely tried just a little bit harder on this accessory of a figure pack-in. So that's kind of irritating, but it's fine. It's fine for an accessory. So I'll go 9 out of 10 for accessories if you count the pig as an actual accessory and not a figure. Now, as far as this guy's articulation, it's actually really nice, and it makes me hopeful for the Scarlet Spider, because we have ball pegs in the neck, and so he can just move his head around. Let's pop that off for now. Just move his head around however he wants, and it's not gappy, and it's functional, and I like that. We do have, unfortunately, this new style shoulder, which, in terms of just using it as a butterfly, it looks fine. But they're trying to Revoltech out their shoulders, which they should not do because this is the worst design for a shoulder ever if you want it to look good. And it also doesn't really afford extra range. So you get a bigger cavity in here in the armpit area, and you get this ugliness here. It doesn't really afford anything that you couldn't do other ways that look better. It does pop out way too easily also. I've had that problem a bunch just handling this guy. Trying to pose him across the chest can be annoying because of that, but you do get decent range out of it. But yeah, the butterfly itself is a nice idea, but trying to Revoltech the shoulders on top of that, not what I would recommend. I think what Bandai needs to realize is they're not Revoltech. People don't buy Bandai products to have them look like Revoltech products. It's not a good idea, if you ask me. Alright, bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow. Pretty good range. Pretty good looking joint, no problem there. Wrists are on ball hinges, that's fine. For the torso, it doesn't go back super far at the lower, but it goes back pretty far at the upper, so that's good. And then leaning forward, it's kind of the opposite. The top doesn't do as much, but the bottom does a little more. It's not great, but it's probably good enough. Going side to... Did that scratch? Did that just scratch? I didn't do anything. It did! We scratched off the button paint just by moving the torso. It's scratched up here too. That's lame. It looks like the buttons might have a different finish on them. Anyway, that's super annoying because it shouldn't be easy to scratch it like that. Why is it white plastic? It actually mushed off the button stitch. I was able to mush it back on because it didn't fall off completely, but this part of the torso just scraped off the stitch, the sculpted stitch. So at least I was able to push it back on. But this one's doing it too about. It's about to. That's lame. I hate it when figures beat themselves up just by handling them. So yeah, his torso is not great. That's an unfortunate situation. You do get your rotation, although it's super tight at the top. Uh-oh. Does it not rotate at the bottom? It has to. Oh, it doesn't rotate at the bottom. Okay, so screw that. The torso sucks. Floating belt is floating. Hips go out to the side pretty nicely. No nuggets, so that's good. Basically full-on splits. I mean, pretty close. And then bring the legs forward. Not quite to horizontal, but they do go horizontally backwards. And you get your thigh swivel, obviously. Double jointed knee is alright. The plastic doesn't match perfectly, but you get decent range. And then for the ankle, you get pretty good range out of it, and an ankle rocker that works nicely. Why do they have the extra cap in there? Just make a bigger ball. Whatever. Toe hinge is not very good. It's a little bit loose and it's not very good looking, but it is well placed. So his articulation, other than the torso being a nightmare to handle without ruining your figure, it works pretty well. So here's hoping that the Scarlet Spider one actually works really well and doesn't scratch itself up. But I'll give it a 7 because of those problems. I'm knocking it down a little bit. Okay, time for the final verdict. Is this a good release? Well, it's way too big and doesn't make any sense that it's too big. The jacket is kind of nice, but also kind of bad at the same time, and the accessories are solid. Yeah, I think it's a fine release if you're willing to accept the larger scale. If not, then it's a no-go. It's a non-starter. The scale is goofy as hell for this guy. Why is he 7 inches tall? I don't believe he was extra tall in the movie. You could argue, well, it's a different verse, as they say, but it doesn't make sense to me, so that's an issue. But if you're willing to look past the height, I'd give this guy a 7 out of 10. He's fine. If you want him, you'll enjoy him. If you don't want him, it's not a pickup you should make. It's not a casual, oh, this looks fun, I'll buy it. You won't enjoy it unless you are really attached to the IP or the character itself. So I'm going to leave it at 7. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and we'll talk there. Otherwise, I am done. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.